Are you tired of carrying your student loans around like a backpack? Well, today we're going to talk about smashing that student loan debt. I'm Carmen Perez, and this is Getting Rich. Today we're going to be talking about student loans. First of all, what are they? Second of all, how you can easily pay them back. And yes, it's possible. So here's the thing about student loans. We're all expected to go to college after high school, and about 70% of us are going to take out a loan to do that. But how many of us actually understand how they work? We're kind of going into this blind a lot of the time, which might be one of the reasons why we have $1.6 trillion of student loan debt in our country today. Let's start by covering the basics of how student loans actually work. First, you take out a loan. Most likely it's either a federal or private loan. The main difference here is that a federal loan is covered through the Department of Education, where private loans are through any private company or lender. Interest rate is the percentage of your principal that gets added to your amount due every single year. For example, if you have a 2% interest rate on a $100 loan and you haven't made any payments, at the end of the year, you'll owe $102. The next year, assuming you still haven't made any payments, you'll owe $104.04, since that 2% now applies to the total due. Now, let's talk to our guest. Brianna, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Give me the tea. Why are you here? Let me know.
All right, so we're here because I just turned 26 and I graduated from George Washington University last year.
Awesome.
And I definitely want to tackle some student loan debt questions.
Okay, fire 'em at me.
Okay, so how do I tackle it at all? I need to alleviate student loan debt. Right now I'm currently like a bartender and I act as well, so we're on the freelancer side.
Okay, you really want to start tackling your student loan debt.
Yes.
All right, so when it comes to paying off your student loan debt and debt in general, it should just be more of like a holistic approach, right? So you want to lower your expenses, not acquire any more debt, but also put a plan in place to tackle your current debt. And you can do that in two different ways. You can either go with the Debt Snowball or the Debt Avalanche. Now, this encompasses like all of your debt in total. So if you have anything, things for credit cards and all that stuff, like you can wrap this up in this plan, okay? So the Debt Snowball is organizing and paying off your debt, smallest balance to highest balance, regardless of the interest on those. So generally your student loans are gonna be on the higher end, even though they have the lower interest. So what you do is you make the minimum payment on all of your debts, except that first one that you have on your list. That's gonna be your smallest debt. You put as much money as possible towards that small debt, and then once that's paid off, you roll all that money that you're paying into that small debt up to the next debt, so on and so forth until it's all paid off. So you roll it up. You see how that works? And then you eliminate it. The good thing with that method is that you're getting small wins in there. So your student loans are kind of, some of them could be pretty large, I'm sure. So you're able to get that momentum that you need to stay after it and like just continue to try to tackle this debt. The other way that you can do it is the Debt Avalanche. The Debt Avalanche is paying off your debt highest interest rate to lowest interest rate, regardless of the balance owed. So you would organize it in the same way. You pay as much as you can towards that first debt with the highest interest rate while paying the minimum on all the other debts. And then once that first debt is paid off, then you take that money and roll it in, and then that creates that avalanche effect, and then you're done with your debt. And by the way, it is the most mathematically sound way to tackle your debt because you are tackling the interest, which tends to sneak up on us, right? And can grow astronomical. I highly recommend just picking one plan and sticking with it. If it's not working for you or you're not feeling like you're really making any progress after a few months, then try the other one. But it is important to have a plan in place. The road to financial freedom is minimizing debt, minimizing expenses, and increasing income. Do you have any more questions?
As of right now, no, that was very helpful.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate it so much.
You're gonna do great, and you're doing great. You already paid off a loan.
Listen,
let's celebrate
I'm so proud
that.
of myself, like so proud. Let's do it.
Here are some helpful tips on how to smash that student loan debt. If possible, start paying interest while you're in school or during your post-college grace period. See if you can get a bi-monthly payment plan. Pay extra and make sure that money goes towards the principal if you can. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu famously said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Instead of beating yourself up, give yourself some grace and find gratitude in how far you've come, even if it's just a single step.